All right, good evening, everyone. If we could call the roll, please.
Alderman Ashour,
Here.
Alderman Augustinovich,
Here.
Alderman Berry,
Here.
Alderman Davalos,
Here.
Alderman Kruckenberg, absent, Alderman Lockett,
Here.
Alderman Widener,
Here.
and Alderman Wilkie.
Here.
If you'd all rise as you're able and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have a proclamation tonight. Amari, your family come up over by the podium. Well, this is very exciting. So, it's a proclamation recognizing Amari Williams. Warrenville resident Amari Williams has demonstrated exceptional dedication and talent both on the field and on the track. And whereas Amari began his journey in football at the early age of 6, developing a passion and commitment that has spanned many years, and whereas he further expanded his athletic pursuits by joining the track team as a freshman at Wheaton Warrenville South High School, demonstrating his versatility and talent. And whereas his prowess in track culminated in outstanding performances at the IHSA Class 3A Boys Track and Field State Finals, having been named state champion in the 300-meter men's hurdles in both 2024 and 2025, breaking his own state record with a time of 36.94 seconds and ranking within the top 10 in state history. And whereas Amari's exceptional abilities on the gridiron have also been recognized, earning him the title of team captain for 2 years, the prestigious honor of MVP, the Red Grange Award for DuPage County football, and his inclusion on both the all-county and all-conference teams. Wow. And whereas beyond his athletic accomplishments, he has shown a commendable commitment to his community by volunteering with youth football programs, inspiring the next generation of athletes. And whereas his dedication and talent have paved the way for his future, as Amari has committed to play football at Northern Illinois University this fall on a well-earned football scholarship. And whereas Amari's example embodies the positive qualities of sportsmanship, discipline, and perseverance, now therefore I, Andrew Johnson, Mayor of the City of Warrenville, do hereby recognize and congratulate Amari Williams for his outstanding achievements as a student athlete. Congratulations. And while the proclamation was for Amari, we know that the family that stands behind him is just as much a part of everything as what he did on the field. So congratulations to you as well. You can never have too many Huskies in the room, right? 1, 2, 3, there's a whole bunch of us. All right. Citizens' comments. Bob Siebert, you want to come up forward? You know the drill and give us your presentation this evening. And if anybody else wanted to speak, while he's working his way up here, I'll wish Jim a happy birthday this evening. So happy birthday to you. Glad you're out.
Bob Siebert, Albright Court. I have a TIF 3 tax bill, and on the TIF 3, as any TIF tax bill, on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the TIF frozen level. And on the top first line, you have the this parcel, $41,370. On the bottom, you have the current assessed valuation. This is what is in the first column on the chart that I have in the front. The current assessed valuation, when this bill was issued, is $48,370. So we have two assessed valuations on the tax bill. $7,000 difference, 12%. Which one is used to determine the tax rate? The one that is used to determine the tax rate is the frozen level. This should create a red flag, because when you use a figure that is not the current EAV, it's a smaller figure, the denominator is reduced, and that means the tax rate is higher. You have a higher tax rate. And what you're doing each year with the frozen level, as we can see what occurred on the chart that I have there, the actual will be increasing significantly. When TIF 3 is over with, the actual valuation without any improvements of this property from the last year's averages will exceed $90,000, more than double what we're using to determine the tax rate. So what I saw in this, we are overtaxing the individuals that are outside of the TIF because we're using an abnormal higher tax rate. So to prove this, I went to my good old friend Gary King, who was DuPage County Clerk years ago. And I said, Gary, run the tax bills again. Just remove the TIF district. So the TIF district is not existent. All of the levies, all of the other information leaves the same. So Gary ran the bills again to determine the tax rate. The tax rate dropped. Since we have one tax rate inside the TIF, outside the TIF, the taxes dropped. And this is what I have been showing on the chart in the front on the last column. If everything were in a beautiful world, that last column, the increase in taxes would be the levy, because you're levying the tax amount that you're going to receive, but the percentages are higher. So that means that the city is receiving greater than the levy. That's from the actual tax bills that are listed on that chart. So we can definitely say, after running the documentation through the county clerk, the actual tax bills, looking at the current tax bills, we can actually say that the frozen level, by using an abnormal lower EAV, you're going to have a higher tax rate and you're taking more money from the citizens. And this is the second item that I told you that creates on that chart that I have there showing 6% and higher in some of these areas for the individual tax bills, what the actual increase is. This is the reason that you're collecting more money. It's because the figures being used are not relevant to today's EAV.
Thank you, Bob. Officials and staff comments. Mine is just that to anybody out there in the world who was involved with the 4th of July celebrations this past week and the parade, the fireworks, the 5K, everything, what a fantastic job and a great group of volunteers. And to the volunteers out there, thank you very much. And after we approve everything on this agenda and the consent this evening, we will be fully staffed with the volunteers on all of our commissions and boards. So kudos to everybody here who has tapped a friend on the shoulder and said, sign up for something. But I'd also ask, if you're interested in serving, even though our commissions are full, please go online, find the application spot, fill in the blanks if you're interested, and we will keep it on file for when we do have openings in the future. So that's my 2 cents. Clerk? Treasurer? Alderman? Bill?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Kudos to all the volunteers, too. It's great with your encouragement that so many volunteers are stepping up and filling all the volunteer positions and also showing up to keep our festivities going and making them the great success that they are. The Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Awareness Commission is staffed with volunteers, and each month they honor federally recognized Heritage and History Month as part of their commitment to build an inclusive community that values diversity. So this month we've got an opportunity to celebrate not 1, but 2 Independence Days. So if you didn't get enough on July 4th, July 26th is recognized annually as the National Disability Independence Day, and that commemorates the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, into law in 1990. This landmark legislation has served rights of sorts for Americans with disabilities by assuring their access to economic and civic opportunities. Its passage represented an unprecedented bipartisan effort that acknowledged the centuries of discrimination suffered by the disability community and a fundamental change of how they live their lives. So it has, as time has gone on, we've seen curb cuts and mechanisms so that the deaf can hear phone calls and all kinds of things that have changed the lives of many people for the better. So just wanted to recognize that holiday, and again, that in Warrenville we welcome everyone, and everyone is welcome and safe. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you, Alderman Widener. Any other alderman? Alderman Rivera?
Thank you, Mayor. I would also like to thank the Friends of the 4th of July. They do a wonderful job every year. This year was outstanding. The fireworks were great. I think they get better every year. That I can't believe, even though the park was under construction, there was still a lot of people there. And everybody was nice, they were kind, no one was rowdy or pushy or anything like that, trying to get to a seat. But everybody had a wonderful time, and we're very lucky that we get to do this every single year. So thank you to the Friends of the 4th, and I hope you all stay together and do it another year. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, big year coming up. Any other alderman? Very well then. City Administrator, Assistant City Administrator? Nothing? City Attorney, we have Courtney Willis-Treffel with us this evening, substituting for Brooke Linneman. So anything to add?
No report.
Okay, thank you for being here. Then the next item would be the approval of the agenda. Are there any items on that agenda first that members would like to have pulled off from the consent agenda? Very well then. Would anyone care to make a motion? Alderman Weider?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the agenda for the July 7th, 2025 City Council regular meeting.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Weider, second by Alderman Wilkie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So the agenda is approved. Minutes, Alderman Weider?
Yes, I move to approve the minutes of the June 16th, 2025 City Council regular meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Weider, second by Alderman Wilkie. Any conversation, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So now on to the consent agenda, which is as presented online and in person here. First item, item A is accept the Public Safety and Finance Committee recommendation and pass resolution R 2025-43, approving an agreement with the Center for Public Safety Management for a police operations assessment in the amount of $48,500 plus reimbursable expenses not to exceed $5,000. Item B, accept staff recommendation and pass resolution R 2025-44, approving a contract with Compass Minerals America, Inc. for the purchase of bulk rock salt. Item C, accept the Plan Commission recommendation and pass resolution R 2025-45, memorializing the approval of a minor amendment to the Cantera Subarea 1, Lot 2, Plan Unit Development to amend sign regulations. Item D, accept Mayor Johnson's recommendation and appoint Linda Robinson to the Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Awareness Commission for a term expiring April 30, 2027. Item E, accept Mayor Johnson's recommendation and appoint Jeannie Dyna to the Tourism and Arts Commission for a term expiring April 30, 2028. Item F, receive and file minutes of the Tourism and Arts Commission meeting held on May 15, 2025. G, receive and file minutes of the Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Awareness Commission meeting held on May 20th, 2025. Item H, receive and file draft minutes of the Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals meetings held on June 5th, 2025 and June 19, 2025. Item I, receive and file the report of invoices paid up to July 2nd, 2025 in the amount of $232,087.85. Item J, authorize expenditures for invoices due on or before July 21, 2025 in the amount of $650,836.78. And item K, receive and file wire transfers report for June 2025. Would anyone care to make a motion? Alderman Weider?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented by Mayor Andrew Johnson.
Second.
Second by Alderman second by Alderman Wilkie. Any discussion? Will you call the roll, please, clerk?
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Wilkie,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Augustinovich,
Aye.
Alderman Ashower,
Aye.
Alderman Lockett,
Aye.
and Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. There are no items for the regular agenda. There's no other unfinished business. However, or new business, we do have a need to go into closed session for a number of items. Would any alderman care to read the citations? Alderman Berry?
Thank you. I'd like to go into, we go into closed session for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120/2 the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body. 5 ILCS 120/2 the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. And 5 ILCS 120/2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Berry, second by Alderman Wilkie. Can we have a roll call, please?
Alderman Augustinovich.
Aye.
Alderman Wilkie.
Aye.
Alderman Lockett.
Aye.
Alderman Ashower.
Aye.
Alderman Widener.
Aye.
Alderman Davalos.
Aye.
And Alderman Berry.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. We do not expect any action to be taken by council coming out of this meeting. Thank you very much for coming, and happy birthday again.